So, World War III, it sounds like the title of a terrible summer blockbuster, doesn't it? The kind of movie starring a B-list action hero who has to save the world with nothing but a grimace and, a suspiciously large pocket knife. But let's be honest here, the real thing would be significantly less entertaining and, honestly, feature way more paperwork. How does it start? It probably wouldn't begin with a giant red button and a maniacal laugh. No, it would likely start with something small, something almost stupid. A disputed fishing boat, a hacked power grid, or maybe, I don't know, an international disagreement over who has the most annoying national anthem. Suddenly what was a minor squabble escalates. Because that's what we do, we're humans, we're just, brilliant at holding grudges. Imagine this. Two countries are arguing over a tiny, uninhabitable island that is basically a glorified rock with some bird poop on it. Country A sends a strongly worded tweet, Country B responds with a sassy meme. Before you know it, diplomats are being recalled, sanctions are being slapped on, and military advisors are dusting off plans that were probably written on a Commodore 64. It's a slow, agonizing crawl toward disaster, all while news channels provide 24/7 coverage with dramatic theme music. The whole thing would feel completely surreal, like watching a global fender bender in excruciatingly slow motion. You know it's bad, you can't look away, and you're pretty sure someone's insurance premium is about to go through the roof. This is where things get truly messy. Alliances. Remember those? They're like a group chat you can't leave. One country gets dragged in, which means its friends have to join, and then their friends get an invite, and so on. Suddenly everyone is involved, even countries that were just trying to enjoy a quiet Tuesday. It's the ultimate catastrophic, I got your back scenario. The conflict would spread not like a wildfire, but more like a particularly aggressive bit of gossip in a high school cafeteria. Everyone has a take, everyone picks a side, and nobody has all the facts. It's a global mess, fueled by ego, history, and a fundamental misunderstanding of what de-escalation means. And let's not forget the leaders. You'd have a collection of world leaders each trying to look tough for their domestic audience, making bold speeches and posing in front of flags. They'd talk about red lines and unwavering resolve, which are just fancy ways of saying, I am not backing down, and I hope the other guy does. The whole situation would be a high-stakes game of chicken played with entire populations. The first step in any global conflict isn't an explosion, it's a catastrophic failure of communication, a moment where everyone decides that talking is harder than fighting, and that, right there, is the most terrifying part of all. It's not a bang, it's a whimper of diplomatic failure. Once the first domino topples, the rest fall with terrifying speed. This isn't your grandfather's World War, with clearly defined sides and neat little lines on a map. This is the 21st century where everything is connected. Think about it. The phone in your pocket? Its parts probably come from a dozen different countries. The coffee you drink? It crossed an ocean to get to you. A major conflict doesn't just disrupt armies, it shatters the delicate web of global trade that keeps our modern world running. Suddenly getting a new laptop isn't just difficult, it's impossible. And that's just the beginning. It's a worldwide, sorry we're closed sign. The alliances would kick in with the ruthless efficiency of a corporate merger. NATO, for instance, has Article 5, which basically says an attack on one is an attack on all. It's a fantastic concept for deterring bullies, but in an active war, it's a recipe for instant escalation. Country A attacks Country B, a NATO member, and suddenly 30 other nations are legally obligated to join the party. And of course, the other side has its own network of allies, pacts, and special friendships. The world would quickly divide into teams, like a particularly grim season of a reality TV show. The prize? Not a trophy, but what's left of the planet. And what about the neutral countries? The ones who just want to sit this one out? Good luck with that. In a globalized world, true neutrality is a fantasy. Your airspace might be needed, your ports might be strategic, your resources might be coveted. Pressure would mount from all sides to pick a team. It's like being the only sober person at a wild party. Sooner or later, someone is going to try to make you do a keg stand. Countries that try to stay out of it would find themselves isolated, their economies choked by sanctions from both sides. There would be no safe corner, no quiet place to hide and wait for it all to blow over. The economic fallout would be immediate and brutal. Stock markets would plummet faster than a lead balloon. The price of oil would skyrocket, making a trip to the grocery store feel like a luxury expense. Suddenly, your job in a non-essential industry might not be so secure. The global economy is a finely tuned machine, and a world war is like throwing a sack of wrenches, a badger, and several lit firecrackers into its gears. The chaos would be profound. We're not just talking about a recession, we're talking about a complete rewiring of how the world does business, all happening while bombs are falling. It would be, to put it mildly, a bit of a mess. Forget the black and white newsreels of soldiers in trenches. World War III would be fought with technology that would make James Bond's gadgets look like toys from a cereal box. The first shots fired might not be from a gun at all, they'd be lines of code. A cyber attack could shut down a nation's power grid, plunging cities into darkness. It could cripple financial systems, erase bank accounts, and turn traffic lights into a chaotic mess. Imagine trying to coordinate a defense when you can't even turn the lights on, and your entire country's GPS thinks you're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's warfare by computer nerds, and it is terrifyingly effective. Then you have the drones, not the kind your neighbor uses to take pictures of their roof. We're talking about swarms of autonomous killing machines. Thousands of small, intelligent drones could be released to overwhelm enemy defenses, each one programmed to identify and eliminate a target. It's like a plague of angry, weaponized hornets. This removes the human pilot from the equation, making decisions faster and more ruthless. And let's not forget the larger, more sinister drones, like the loitering munitions that can circle a battlefield for hours, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It's war as a video game, except the pixels are real people. And of course, we have to talk about the really big stuff. Hypersonic missiles. These are missiles that travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound, making them nearly impossible to intercept. They can carry conventional or nuclear warheads and can strike anywhere on the globe in under an hour. There's no time to react, no time to get to a shelter. One minute you're complaining about your Wi-Fi, and the next, well, you're not. The speed of modern warfare would be breathtakingly fast. Conflicts could be decided in minutes, not years, based on who has the fastest and most unstoppable toys. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? But it's not all about explosions. There's also the information war. Disinformation campaigns would run rampant, flooding social media with fake news, deepfake videos, and propaganda designed to sow confusion and division. You wouldn't know what to believe. Is that video of a general surrendering real, or was it generated by an AI? Is that news report accurate, or is it a state-sponsored lie? The truth would become the first casualty of war, buried under an avalanche of digital garbage. Winning hearts and minds would be just as important as winning on the battlefield, and it would be fought on the screen. You're probably reading this on right now. So, what would life be like for the rest of us, the people not on the front lines? In a word, awful. Your daily routine would be completely upended. Say goodbye to your morning latte, your favorite TV shows, and your reliable internet connection. Rationing would become the new normal. Food, fuel, electricity, everything would be limited. Cities, especially those near military or industrial centers, would become targets. Air raid sirens would be the new soundtrack to your life. The simple act of going to school or work would become a calculated risk. It's the mundane inconveniences of life, now with a delightful side of mortal peril. Your job might not exist anymore. Industries that rely on global trade or produce non-essential goods would grind to a halt. The economy would be completely reoriented toward the war effort. Factories that once made cars would now make tanks. Companies that made video games might be conscripted to design military simulations. And if your job is deemed essential, congratulations, you get to keep working, probably for longer hours and less pay, all while worrying about supply shortages and the occasional explosion. It's the ultimate gig economy, and the gig is surviving. Also, a fun fact, during World War II, the US government banned the sale of sliced bread to conserve wax paper. So you'd probably have that to look forward to as well. The social fabric would be stretched to its breaking point. Fear and suspicion would be everywhere. Propaganda would encourage you to be wary of your neighbors, to report suspicious activity. Paranoia would become a civic duty. The constant stress and uncertainty would take a massive psychological toll on everyone. The sense of community might strengthen in some places, as people band together to survive, but in other places, the pressure would cause society to fracture along lines of class, race, and political belief. It would bring out the best in some people and the absolute terrifying worst in others. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be this way. This entire scenario, this grim, miserable, and frankly idiotic march toward self-destruction, is avoidable. Peace isn't a passive state, it's an active choice. It requires effort. It requires communication, diplomacy, and a willingness to understand people you disagree with. It means supporting leaders who build bridges, not walls. It means being critical consumers of information and rejecting the easy narratives of fear and hate. Preventing a world war isn't someone else's job, it's ours. Because the alternative is a future where the best we can hope for is unsliced bread. And honestly, we can do better than that.